Daniel Kwan, one half of Daniels, the directing duo behind Everything Everywhere All at Once and Swiss Army Man, recently tweeted, "If you can't handle us at our farting corpse, you don't deserve us at our staggering achievement of filmmaking." And I think that is like the perfect way to sum up what makes this film so special. Everything Everywhere All at Once gets its wide release on April 8th, but it has had a slow rollout so far, so make sure to check screenings in your area. I was able to see it in IMAX this past Wednesday, which I highly recommend, and I've really been struggling with this review because how do you even talk about something that's been meaning so much to people and meant so much to me? Because the reviews so far are not exaggerative. It has a 4.6 on Letterboxd, which is higher than Parasite, and a nearly perfect score across all other platforms, and I'm really excited to talk about why. Because this is one of those films where you hit the credits and you don't know if you should clap or just sit there in awe because you have no doubt in your mind that you just witnessed a modern masterpiece. So let me know your thoughts on this film. Make sure to like and subscribe. Time codes will be in the description, I think, but I'm kind of just like spewing my thoughts everywhere about this film, and let's get into it. For those who don't know much about this film, it stars Michelle Yeoh, the queen of kung fu, as Evelyn Wang, an aging Chinese immigrant who is swept up in an insane adventure where she alone can save the world by exploring other universes and connecting with the lives that she could have led. It also stars Ki Kwan as her husband Waymond, Stephanie Hsu as her daughter Joy, Jamie Lee Curtis as a hilarious villainous IRS agent, James Hong as Evelyn's father, and Jenny Slate is in here as well, among others. The Daniels have discussed that they made this film because lower budget indie films are no longer getting the same attention as these big blockbusters or franchise films, and they said, hey, what if we made something that has that indie heart and creativity and encased it in this big, fantastic adventure? And I don't think it could have turned out more perfectly, and with only a $25 million budget, this film is nothing short of a miracle. This is also one of those films where I loved it so much, but I'm not gonna say too much because I think it's better to go in blind, but it's also like, this is just something that you need to see for yourself. There are so many things going on here that is like, you've never seen this in a movie before. You can't even wrap your head around how they even got it done and how some of this was even conceptualized and then committed to the point where you can make a movie that's so full of all this crazy stuff that it like never lets up from start to finish. It's like this crazy epic experience that's constantly keeping you engaged. It's hitting all of its emotional beats, and at the end it just feels like you just witnessed something like super, super incredible. But at the same time, I'm worried I'm gonna like hype people up too much. Like, go in, see it for yourself. But again, I think the reviews it's getting so far and the enthusiasm behind it is testament enough that this is gonna go down, at the very least, a cult classic, but probably recognized as one of the best films of the 21st century at least. But the thing that continues to come up for me about this film is that it comes together as a whole image. There were truly no points that I thought were weaker than others. You can't really feel it as acts, even though it's separated into chapters. It just feels like this mural of emotions and creativity in the cosmos, which is so interesting to say because it's like this goofy sci-fi epic with an emotional core that isn't super novel, but it's like pure, unimaginable, shouldn't be possible creativity on display. And the fact that this emotional journey is happening across the multiverse, it makes you feel so small, and it's what makes the heart of this story feel so transcendent and powerful. This is without a doubt the most fun I've ever had at the theater. Like, I have no reservations about saying that, and it's one of the times that I've cried the most at the theater. It touches on generational trauma and vulnerability and self-efficacy and mourning what could have been and seeing the beauty in what is and doing your taxes. And I really want to emphasize my praise for the performances here because they're all just incredibly magnetic and beautiful. Michelle Yeoh as the lead, I mean, we all know how incredible she is, but she's showing a range of emotion here that I personally think is straight up Oscar worthy and might be her best performance ever. The way she portrays being this hardened woman who is mistreating the people around her because she's afraid of that vulnerability. She feels insecure. She's afraid to show love, and it prevents her from seeing the beauty in the people around her. Stephanie Hsu is magic. she plays this amalgam of pain and beauty and expression, and the costume design and makeup for her character is nothing short of ethereal. She was one of my favorite parts by far. And for all the characters, you get these really powerful close-ups where the lighting makes these emotions feel so cosmic. And with that, the multiverse mechanics are really interesting. There's a whole book you can buy about it from A24, but it's kind of a twist on the Matrix where you need to be hooked up to something and you can derive different skills from different universes, and I'll leave it at that. But the way that it's executed allows for this ever-changing, completely bonkers and downright hilarious collection of silly ways to explore that concept. You've got Ratatouille references and hot dog fingers and fanny packs as nunchucks and googly eyes. It's also just shot beautifully, and it has some of the most interesting choreography and action set pieces that I've seen in a while. There's one that has to do with sign flipping that got a huge clap from the crowd. And then you have the genius it takes to even keep track of this story. I mean, the film is a bit over 2 hours long, and the brilliant editing that you need to make it communicable to an audience, which was done by Paul Rogers. I'm truly astonished at the massive leap the Daniels have taken with such grace to create a movie that puts 90% of other movies to shame, which I don't even want to say because this was made with so much love and it's about love. And this is what happens when the VFX artists are 10 of your friends and personal stories are written and creative visions are allowed to flourish. Thank you, A24. And this is what makes me love film so much. It's what gives me hope for film, and I truly just think it's something that everyone needs to experience. I think I've made it extremely clear that this is pretty much a perfect film for me. I'm going to give Everything Everywhere All at Once 5 out of 5 stars. A24 is obviously doing really incredible stuff just by funding these projects and allowing filmmakers to have full creative control, because otherwise we wouldn't get things like this. And I already knew this, but this just confirms that Daniels are two of the most exciting and idiosyncratic filmmakers working today, and I seriously can't wait to see what they do next. I did want to add a note about the Daniels style, because a couple people have said to me, I didn't love Swiss Army Man, what should my expectations be for this film? And it definitely has a similar sense of humor, and it has that, when it gets down to it, this simplistic emotional core, but that's honestly kind of where it ends. I personally like Swiss Army Man, but this just feels more epic, more conceptually complex, and the humor just feels less niche overall. It definitely is goofy. I'd compare it maybe to something like Rick and Morty, but it's more just laugh out loud. The entire crowd was cracking up at this movie, so I don't think the humor is anything to worry about. The rollout, again, is obviously tough. I don't even understand it, to be honest, but again, its wide release is technically April 8th. I'm in Boston and it's playing 10 times a day right now, so I don't even know. Check your location wherever you are. But I do, guys, really encourage people to see this film. See it on the biggest screen that you possibly can. It really is such an incredible experience. It left me feeling genuinely changed. And I'm really excited to hear people's thoughts. If you plan on seeing it, let me know. If you have seen it already, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe, connect with me on social media, and keep an eye out for more videos soon. Thanks for watching, guys.
This is a life free from destiny.